And it is time for the Week 6 recap. We have a special in-person guest in studio, the Lord himself, James Barry.
What's going on, boys? Happy to join this week. Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be at Romeo's place. It's wonderful here.
We've got Tyrell back. He dropped the girlfriend aggro, or the fiance aggro, and can make it on. And we've got a big meaty section, so let's dive right in. First game of the week, we had an absolute bloodbath. I lost to the man sitting next to me. Any thoughts?
Just a tough week for Rome's. Hopefully, I think the Logan Thomas thing is tough because he has such a good game and people are really hyping him up, and then he only gets 0.7. So that kind of, took some air out of your tires. And then I hope Bijan can score more touchdowns for you this year because he's awesome and he's been great. But, imagine if he was scoring touchdowns too. He'd be RB1 or 2. So yeah,
I remember
good matchup, man.
I texted Tyrell and I'm like, can I get Higgins in here? And I was like, yeah, you know what? It's not going to happen. Wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
All right, matchup number 2, Tyrell slamming VJ. Tyrell, what are your thoughts on this win you got?
I mean, did I play incredibly well? No, I did what I needed to get by. I pulled the George Logan. I said, all right, guys, you're going to go out there, score between 100 and 110. You're going to get the W. George has found out that formula seems to work pretty well. He's having one of the best seasons of his career, and I applied that this week. And, Sandals at Guantanamo Bay, kind of hilarious name from VJ there. Luckily, he's off to a hot start, so these injuries are going to plague him a little bit. But he's at 4-2. He's in a safe zone. So
tough when you have 4 guys now putting up double digits. All position players.
Yeah, not ideal.
Matchup number 3, the Commission Paul. This one had a lot of stakes on it. I paid my shotgun. You can see it in the Snapchat. Paul still owes one, but. Yeah, George, eat this one out.
I personally feel bad about this one because I gave Paul the meat section of his team right there, and they just didn't perform. I always want people I trade away to perform decently well or what I advertise them as. They did in the first week when he had him, but they did not this week. Tyreek scored 28, and they combined only had 18.
Yeah, tough.
So. Hopefully things will turn around for you, Paul, man.
Yeah,
I think it was a good trade.
I gotta say that Paul, birthday boy himself, man. First of all, respond to my trade. I mean, come on now. I'm trying to help you out here. We're trying to help each other. Mutualism. Paul is feeling a lot like that catcher we had in Little League that played for the Yankees, also had a younger sister, rode the bus, neighbors with George Logan, none other than Jason Kane.
What a throwback.
Paul is just feeling like, he's squatting down, just catching, but can't catch the ball. You know what I mean? Paul can't catch a break. It's going to be tough for Paul to come back from this one. And we'll just see how he does. Is Justin Fields going to be back? I don't know, but Paul's going to have to make some trades, cash some checks, snap some necks out here. Send Joe Mixon my way, buddy.
Kenneth Walker, a dog. Other than that, Kittle 0.6, and he pays 600 for KJ 6.8. Tough. Things will turn around for you, Paul. Stay positive.
All right, next we've got Travis, the one I just can't seem to beat, and Sean, who spanked me last week. Sean's got a good team. Kind of expected chalk here. Sean beating Travis, but. Travis is just not having a good season, and just looking at his guys, other than Diggs, who really gives you hope?
Yeah, we'll get into that in the midseason report here, but again, another strong showing by Sean there. Miami running backs this year just running rampant on people. Denver and Carolina, 31st and 32nd against the run defense, and they played them both this year, so he's going nuts.
And next we got Bellis and Fuller, and I think this was probably the match of the week, considering it was a point difference, and this determined who went to 3-3, which is the playoff position as of right now. So both two high-scoring ones would have beat a lot of people in the league. Weekly high and the second high in here, so always a dagger to lose is Bellis here.
Fuller's just a grinder. That's what he does. He grinds out W's. Nothing pretty, but enough to get it done. He's not the high scorer, but wait, was he the high scorer?
Yeah, he was the high scorer. These were the two high.
Shout out to
1 and 2.
Shout out to Fuller, high scorer. God damn, let's go, Reality Kings. Let's go. Well, we had 129. That's not the
I was
highest.
lucky enough to be texting him when Breece Hall scored that touchdown at the end of the game, and it cut it from 121 to 128 real quick. And it was the last game on Sunday before Sunday Night Football, and Fuller almost lost in the blink of an eye, and I could feel his soul leaving his body just through text. So he pulled out the win.
And the final matchup, Billy obliterating Aiden. Tough week here for Aiden, and Billy's team just seeming to finally get it together. Needed that win. Could have been a elimination week going in 1 and 5. And so I think that goes over the recap. Next up, we have a special segment with our guest here. It is going to be the mid-season report.
All right, boys. So this is the mid-season report card for everybody's team, and we also have their NFL current team comparison and a reason why. I'll start out with myself. My mid-season grade is an A-. The team I am most closely aligned with, the Dolphins. Closely aligned with the Dolphins because they have arguably the best passing game in the league, and their running backs are decent, but they've been doing pretty well. And then as the year goes on, somehow they make stupid mistakes that don't allow them to go far in the playoffs. So that's my team grade and my team comparison. Next up, we got Romeo, this guy right here. Romeo's team grade, let's pull it up, B. And his team comp, the Seahawks. Decent to good running backs, good wide receivers. When they win, you're like, yeah, it's the Seahawks. They were good. And when they lose, you're like, damn, they just didn't quite have it. So that's Romeo loves to pound the rock, Seahawks.
The Stallions.
Next, we got the other guy, Kyril. Team grade.
Another A-.
Team comp, the Bengals. Started off like shit, and everyone was concerned for a second, and then their incredible passing game, mid-level running back play, just allowed them to shoot straight forward into winning ways. So the Bengals, after going 0-2, 3-2, and they're on the rise.
This one was great. I love the 0-2
Shout out to
start
Jamar
Bengal.
Chase.
Yeah, shout out to Jamar. Here's Sean, grade, A-, Shawnee. And team comp, the Lions. The Lions here sitting at 5-1. They have great running backs, but it's kind of like a committee deal. They have an injured wide receiver one, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and your pick was also an injured wide receiver one who you had to deal with out for a little while here. But Lions exciting, should make the playoffs, but you're also like, oh, it's the Lions, so we don't know. Here we got Fuller. Grade.
B- Fuller. Team
comp.
The
Cowboys. Thought they'd be good initially from the draft. They had a good roster. They suffered some terrible injuries early on, and then they're always willing to shell out the dough to come out on top and field a good roster. They grind, and then they just somehow eke out victories just like they did the other night against the Chargers. So, Fuller, that's your team comp.
Fuller grinding that.
And your mid-season grade, B-. Started out like
solid.
a B+.
The Jerry Jones of the trades.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones.
Next we got Chens. Hit him with the grade. B-. Team comp. The Browns, baby. Here come the Browns. You want to know why, Veej? Because they're completely relying on one running back, and that running back got injured, and now shit is hitting the fan. So your team comp is the Browns. The Browns have a winning record. Nobody knows quite why, but hopefully they can make the playoffs.
That's all time.
All right, let's go next. Paul. Grade C+. Paul, team comp, the Falcons. They have okay players all around, no real serious weaknesses, and then somehow when they win games, you have no fucking clue how. Paul, the Falcons. Here's Trav. Grade.
D+. Team comp.
comp.
The Bears.
Ooh.
One good wide receiver in DJ Moore and Stephon Diggs and Trav's case. More concerned to get the number one pick in the Bears or to shotgun for Travis. We don't know which one's higher likelihood, but they're both not great for making the playoffs.
I'd also like to shout out Juliet Elahan in this photo. Pretty phenomenal. Also, Flo Sidon Trav right there. Just incredible.
It's great hair. It's great hair. So hopefully things turn around. Bill. Grade. B minus team comp. The Chargers, a good passing attack, top quarterback play, a top shelf running back, already does have Austin Eckler, and then the overall coaching is very risky, and then you start to question some decision makings, and then all of a sudden they lose to teams they shouldn't. James Conner is Mike Williams, so we'll see if they can turn it around.
That's all time.
Nicholas, team grade, B. Great job, Nick. The Buccaneers, Nick, just a bunch of grinders, and somehow they're good when they were supposed to be bad initially. Everyone was like, nah. And then all of a sudden they turned it around. Baker's been as big a surprise as Pacheco has for the running game this year. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, just like Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. So, George, grade, B minus. Team, the Rams. It feels so Rams, George. It feels so Rams. They just simply move the ball surprisingly well. Mid-level tight end play, and then their running backs are just shockingly good out of nowhere, just like DeAndre Swift. So you're the Rams, buddy. Good job so far. Aiden, team grade, C+. Roster. The Ravens. A beautiful roster on paper that just hasn't quite worked out and is riddled with injuries. So they just aren't producing at this point. Hopefully they can turn it around. But that's A's team grade there.
R.I.P. J.K. Dobbins. Shout out to George.
And that's it. That's all, gentlemen.
What a great segment, the mid-season report cards. Very, very well done.
Appreciate it. Great job, everybody.
All right, looking ahead to next week. All right, starting off, I am going up against Aiden, and I just got to say, I am happy to face someone below 500 finally. I've been through the absolute gauntlet to start the season. Tyrell, Barry, VJ, all the solids. Sean. So yeah, this one is looking like a little bit of a low-scoring one between the two of us. I got a couple guys on buys in T. Higgins and Derrick Henry, and Aiden has CeeDee Lamb on buy, and again, just riddled with injuries. Looks like Trevor Lawrence might not play, so should be a battle. Any thoughts?
Tyrell?
Sorry, an ad just popped up. What the fuck? I'm trying to look at the scores and an ad popped up. That's unbelievable.
Single mom, you.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a lady with groceries. Anyway, yeah, Jordan Love getting the start for Aiden this week. Love to see that. We'll just see how his team produces, you know. I don't know. I'd like to see Johnny T make some moves for you, Romes.
Amen. You and me both. All right, match number two, we got VJ and Paul going at it. And I know VJ's team has some injuries, but it's still looking like he might continue improving his record to 5-2 here. We'll see if Paul can shuffle some stuff around, but Justin Fields out. Any thoughts on this one, boys?
I think it's gonna be surprisingly close. And yeah, I can't really call it. I would say it's a coin toss. It's a lot closer than the projections are making it out to be. Najee is probably on par with like Latavius Murray, and then CMC injured. Who knows? Like Kenneth Walker's been eating, and Arizona's run D is terrible. George Kittle will probably turn it around against the worst pass D in the NFL, Minnesota. He had 0.6 last week. So yeah, I think it's gonna be really, really close. That's my take.
Yeah, I agree. Despite the Joe Mixon bye, we'll see if Paul can pull it out. I mean, KJ Osborne might be due. He's got Osborne and Kittle playing on Monday. And hey, if he accepts my trade, he might have Addison. I don't know. So he's got a lot of Monday night action going on, and we'll just see how it plays out. I think CMC being injured also, I do think he's going to lose some touches because they don't, it's early. So who knows the extent of that oblique injury.
I'm a big Vikings fan. I pulled for Paul in the shotgun. It's his birthday. Let's see it. All right, matchup number 3, two giants going at it. We've got Sean and Tyrell, who is still trying to figure out his RB situation.
trying to roster some boys. I've been reaching out. J.C. Penney still interested. What's that quote from Step Brothers? Goddamn, all time. Anyway, yeah, we'll see what happens. I need a kicker. Hopefully get one tonight at 3 a.m. And yeah, we're gonna still. I'm open to trade, boys. Send me some shit. I've got a plan. It's not a great plan, but I do think that I'm probably going down this week unless something crazy happens. I mean, I'm starting 2 tight ends. George Logan, I know, is just like gawking at my team. Like, I wish I could do that. He's like, get me Rob Gronkowski and Hunter Henry. Like, get him out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Luke Musgrave. Hey, maybe he's poised for a big day. I don't know, but it's not looking great for me. So I don't really have any expectations for this week.
I just think it was funny a couple weeks ago when you were like, so Romeo, what are you doing at running back?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat now. I'm just going to live and die by the sword. If I pull out a dub here, it's like, that's great, but I got no expectation of a dub this week.
All right, matchup number 4. We've got Fuller and George going at it. I think this is a pretty big week for Fuller. If he can improve his record here to 4-3, definitely getting into the playoffs, at the same time bringing George down to 4-3, continuing the parity, and his team's looking good.
I think that I don't know. I like George this week, as weird as that sounds. Fuller and I have been in synergy, but I think his running backs are going to hit a wall this week because I think Travis Etienne has been going off, and he always has those regression games. And what better one than on a short week against the second overall run defense? And Jahmyr Gibbs, he's up in the air. And Montgomery, he's like the third down guy. So he could really struggle there. And Cortland Sutton is touchdown dependent. I think Waddle and Tua will eat because Philly has terrible pass D. They're good against the run. But it'll be close because then you look at the flip side and you look at Georgia's team and you're like, wow, the A.J. Brown against Miami, that's going to be a track meet essentially on Sunday night. That's going to be awesome. Great game. DeAndre Swift in that game as well. So
yeah, if George gets a win with Pollard and Burrow on bye, he's in good shape at 5-2.
What I'm calling is the classic Fuller bad luck week right here, where all of a sudden George has scored 105 the entire year, and then George scores 135, and
that
Fuller
is
loses
100%.
with like 110.
That's 100. Dude, Sam Howell's throwing up a 30 burger for sure on Sunday against the Giants. Come on now, Sam Howell, dude, he's gonna cook. Yeah, I mean, Zach Evans pickup, massive. Yeah, I don't know. I think you're right. I think Fuller's going to get just there's great matchups on the right side versus that left side, so I think George is looking good.
All right, matchup number 5. We've got the Lord, James Berry, against Travis. And your team looking pretty consistently weekly projected high. So you've got some studs on your roster.
Yeah, hopefully they can figure out matchups. Like, I've been getting killed with Rashad White matchups. Like, he's faced 5 weeks of top 5 run defenses in a row. So he's just, like, dying out. So we'll see who I can slot there. But this is a classic case of, like, hey, like, Trav equals out Josh Allen with Stephon Diggs, essentially. Like, that's a big piece. I, like, feel like I should win, but there's easily a chance that I could, like, easily.
Yeah.
Somehow. It would just, like, he'd score 110 and I'll get 90.
That is always the interesting. You're like anyone but Diggs.
Yeah. I'm like, oh shit. Well, so we'll see.
All right, and then the final matchup, I think this is a really important one. I think if you lose this one for either team, it's not looking good for the playoffs. It's like you got to capitalize on some of the teams that are not doing as well. So yeah, this might be the matchup of the week. Billy versus Bellis, pretty close matchup going in. What are you guys thinking about this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a dogfight for sure. I think Bellis breaks the funk a little bit. I just am still nervous about Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. Like, it's so crazy to look at that. And when we were talking about grades, I was like, I don't know. I mean, Bellis made some moves, and I think he is there, I guess. But those two as wide receiver 1 and 2 is wild. It's like if they have a bad passing game, you're just kind of toast. But they are playing Pittsburgh, so shouldn't be
Yeah.
too bad. Yeah.
I think, yeah, Lamar against Detroit. Again, they're good against the run D, so we'll see how he does there. But again, I'm somehow confident in what Fells does. I don't know why every year he has two people on the same offense, just like last year he had Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. This year he has Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, and it somehow works. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's solid. Austin Eckler is going to probably be great. Jalen Hurts, again, a track meet. Devonta Smith will be the one to watch out for. If Devonta Smith doesn't catch a touchdown, Billy loses. If he does, Bill could win.
I think the way
I
this
think
one
that's a
might shape
great
down,
take.
they're both it's like a point, it's a 6 point projection. It could come down to who Jared Goff decides to target and if he gives Amon-Ra a tutter or if he decides to go to Sam Laporta. So that
Wow.
touchdown share on the Lions is going to be pretty critical in this one.
That's facts.
Christian Kirk, arguably the league's best flex.
All right, and then moving on to the betting corner. Since we have a special guest, I'd be remiss to not have Barry sign us off with an absolute legendary rundown.
Boys. We got a 4-leg parlay here. Saints is the first leg. Short week, as we just discussed. We may be without Trevor Lawrence on Thursday night. He's probably going to play, but that's a short week with a knee sprain. A good defense. The Jags got to go on the road. I like the Saints home and healthy, -1. Next pick, over 42, Lions, Ravens. Lions come in as the number 2 passing offense in the NFL. If you can believe it, they're putting up points on the board. They have a great D, and Baltimore's injured, so we'll need the Baltimore points, but I'm purely confident in the Lions to cover number 42. Third leg, Tampa at home against the Falcons. I think Desmond Ridder was rattled last game when he threw 3 interceptions. They're having a few different issues, I think, with communication on offense and defense. Bijan should probably be scoring more than he is, but he can't do it all himself. Drake London has on and off games. Kyle Pitts has on and off games. Anyway, they travel to Tampa. That's a great defense. Baker gets right at home. Vegas -3. It's self-explanatory. Just look who they're playing. They're playing the Bears, and Justin Fields is out. So the Bears are playing their backup rookie. Vegas has a great pass rush in Max Crosby. That's a no-brainer. 4-legger plus 10.56. $10 to win 100. So consider we've all taken it.
I love all this. I think the Jags are a little bit banged up, and I'm pretty high on the Saints. I think that the Dolphins and the Lions and Ravens are each capable of getting 21. They're not going to end in a tie, so there's your 42 over. High on the Bucks and low on the Bears.
Yeah. Yep. So, gentlemen, I hope everyone has a great week.
That'll do it for the Week 6 recap. Good luck, everyone. And, yeah, good luck with touchdowns.
Good luck, boys.